Welcome, food and fitness lovers, to Tina's Ageless Kitchen. I'm Chef Tina Martini. You might know me as the Medicine Chef. Welcome, food and fitness lovers, to Tina's Ageless Kitchen. I'm Chef Tina Martini. You might know me as the Medicine Chef. Well, today in the Ageless Kitchen, it is all about anti-aging, and that's with our wild-caught salmon. We're going to do a couple different things with the salmon, but first of all, let's talk about just getting the freshest that we can get. Now, if you're buying filet like this, you can look it over and make sure that it's a really nice bright color and that it smells like the water that the fish lives in, not like fish. Remember, we don't want that fishy smell. That indicates that the fish is getting a little bit old. You know what they say about fish and house guests, no more than 3 days. All right, so we know our fish is nice and fresh. I've got some water simmering here in a shallow saute pan, but I want to season and really flavor that fish in a nice way, and lemon, of course, is a natural. Any citrus will do here, but I'm going to put in a little fresh lemon juice, and that gives just that nice fresh flavor. And if there is a little bit of fishiness on your fish, the lemon will eradicate that and take care of it for you. And then I'm going to go ahead and put just a few wheels of fresh lemon in, and that even intensifies that clean, fresh flavor more because of the essential oils in the skin of the lemon. All right, so let's go ahead and put our fish in the water, and that can be working while we're working on our sauces. Now we're gonna do, let's see if I can get a hold of it first, chefs, my goodness. Here we go. Let's go ahead and lay that right in, and we've got that working while we're gonna work on our two sauces. Now we're gonna do a remoulade first. What is a remoulade? Well, all it is a fancy tartar sauce. So I'm gonna do a mustard remoulade here today, and I've got two types of mustard. I've got a classic French white wine Dijon, and just a couple tablespoons of that will do. We're just gonna make a small amount, but of course you can pick up the recipe. And then I've got a Creole grain mustard, and that's gonna add a little spiciness, and you can see the mustard seeds right in there, so that gives for a nice texture as well. We'll move that to the side, add a little bit of granulated garlic. Now, the raw garlic here is going to be too hot on the palate, chefs. So you go ahead and use the powdered or the granulated. That's going to give you that nice garlic flavor, but without blowing out your palate. I'm going to do a little bit of fresh green onion, and that's always nice. Now, I'm doing kind of a rough country, casual, if you will, remoulade. You could blend all of this in your food processor or your blender if you wanted. Parsley brings in a little bit of a pigeon in. Now remember what Harvard School of Medicine tells us about these leafy greens like basil, parsley, cilantro. This apigenin is showing up to be possibly the cure for ovarian cancer. So we're going to keep our fingers crossed on that. We know that the phytonutrients build our immune system, and that's what's important. So I've got the green onion for a little allium compound and quercetin, and that reduces trauma in the body. I'm going to use a little bit of chopped cornichon. Now what the heck's a cornichon? It's nothing more than a baby pickle, and it's a dill pickle. So you want that snap, you want that bite that's going to go with our nice mustards that we used. And I'm just going to use a tablespoon or 2 teaspoons of that. You can adjust, and you can also use a little bit of the juice to continue that flavor throughout the recipe. Worcestershire sauce, always good, always nice and savory. The good news, they've got a vegan Worcestershire now if you don't want to do the anchovies, although they're wonderful and they're full of omega-3s. But if you are doing a vegan nutrition program, remember they've got the really delicious vegan Worcestershire available now. Now, remoulade is always built in a base of mayonnaise, and I've got the grapeseed oil mayonnaise here. And again, that's going to be kind of our foundation or our carrier for our remoulade. And then I'm going to do a little olive oil as well. Oleic acid keeps the arteries around the heart flexible, and it also binds the water we drink to our tissue. And I think that's a much overlooked step, chefs, is that we think just drinking water is going to hydrate everything, and that's really important. But what is most important is getting those good fats, and that seals the water we drink to our tissue and prevents the dehydration. You know what I always say, if you don't want to get old or you don't want to age, stay moist and supple, and the good fats do this for us. So we're just going to whisk that or stir that up. If I had a little whisk, I could just whisk it, but a spoon will do. Remember, we chefs know how to make anything work in the kitchen. If you're really good, you can cook the phone book, baby, and make that taste good. So we're just gonna use what we have, a little bit of kosher salt, a little bit of black pepper. White pepper would be beautiful here, and that's one of the most common questions I receive on my emails is what's the difference between white pepper and black? Black pepper gives heat, and it also helps clean the liver. White pepper is more floral, and it really lifts up fresh herbs, and we've got our fresh green onion and our parsley. So let's just whip that all together. And as you can see, a spoon works just fine, whatever tool you've got. Now, why olive oil in something that's already got mayonnaise and mustard in it? Well, the olive oil really gives a smooth, velvety feel on the palate. It's just that creamy edge that really makes the finish and that beautiful gloss on the remoulade. We can pop that in the refrigerator and let the flavors marry and come together. Our salmon is poached here in the lovely lemon water, and just touch it like you would meat. Now, I don't recommend putting your finger in there, and my old asbestos hands, of course, I've been a chef over 28 years, so I'm kind of used to touching heat, but I don't recommend it for you. So as you saw in the beginning, I just used my spatula, and the meat feels firm. That lets us know that we're done. You're looking at about 12 minutes per 1 inch of the fillet, so that can give you a little bit of a time period in which your salmon or your other fish will be done. Same for meat. You want to just kind of look and know the feel and the texture of meat when it's cooked, and using your tools like the tongs to kind of feel the firmness is a great way to do that. Well, I'm going to take it out of the poaching liquid, and we're all done with this. We can just spoon our remoulade over and have it that way, and it's super delicious and really elegant. You could sprinkle some chopped parsley over that on the plate, or green onions, whatever you like to decorate. After all, we want to see our food as well. Presentation is everything, and I'll be right back to show you another presentation with our beautiful salmon, and then we're going to turn it into something completely different if by chance we had anything left over. I'll see you in just a minute.
Hi, I'm Chef Joseph Manero with Taste This TV. Being from Europe, a good espresso is hard to find. What's even harder is a great machine that makes it. Let me introduce you to Astoria. They've been putting their stamp and their label on incredible machines such as this one. And I give the stamp of approval to say that they make the espresso just the way I want it. I feel like I'm in Italy. So after you can determine whether or not you'd like a single shot, a double, or in my case, a triple, then you have to realize what goes great with this espresso. If you're like me, you love sweets, and you're gonna take your impastato mozzarella, you're gonna put it in a bowl, and you're gonna take your La Fasa vanilla, this is their ground vanilla seed, and you're gonna put it right into the ricotta. Next, you can't forget La Rusticella, white truffle honey. And you're gonna take a little bit of this white truffle honey, or in my case, a lot. You're going to put that into the ricotta as well, and you're going to mix. What you're going to find is an incredible hint of vanilla / white truffle honey. Scoop it right on the top of your espresso, and you're going to sip. A combination of incredible cheese, vanilla, white truffles, and of course, espresso from Astoria. Taste this.
Welcome back to the Ageless Kitchen. All right, we're doing 2 sauces with one of my favorites, wild-caught salmon. And we'll talk about that difference between wild-caught and farm-raised in just a moment. We've got the mustard remoulade working in the refrigerator, getting those flavors married together. And now we're gonna make a really fun, fresh herb sauce called a gremolata. Now, I'm gonna do it in the blender. You can do it in your food processor. If you have one of the little bullet mixers, that's perfect, whatever you have. I'm going to put a little bit of garlic, and I've got some of the garlic juice in there as well. So I'm just going to put maybe a teaspoon or so in. I'm going to do a little bit of fresh basil. Now, we talked about apigenin earlier with the parsley, and basil is very high in apigenin, and that's for our ovarian health. Now, men, you might think that we're not talking to you, but we are. Anything that helps with ovaries and hormones in general is going to help you balance your hormones as well. So apigenin is just a great hormone receptor protector. Say that fast 5 times after a glass of wine. All right, let's put the parsley in, more apigenin going in, and then some green onion. Now, I like quite a bit of green onion. If you don't like that strong onion flavor, then just use a little bit and use more of the green than the white. That doesn't quite have that strong onion flavor. The green is a little milder. I'm gonna do just a pinch of some kosher salt or sea salt, whatever you like. I'm gonna leave the pepper out this time, and then I'm gonna do a little bit of fresh lemon juice, and that's gonna help bring it all together. Now, you don't have to drizzle your olive oil in when you're making gremolata like you do with a vinaigrette. We're really not having to emulsify the ingredients, vinegar and oil, like we do when we're making a dressing. This will emulsify just fine with all of the herbs and the garlic and that. All right, so that's it. Basically, whatever fresh herbs, lemon juice, lime juice would be great here. A little tequila would be great here as well. So whatever you want to do to bring it all together, let's go ahead and turn it on. And as you can see, it comes together beautifully with very little effort on your part. You maybe have to break down your onions and that a little bit, but wow, you just dump it all in the blender and it's done. And look at how beautiful and green that is. Let's pour this out so you can see what we've created. And I'm just gonna use our little lemon bowl here. And isn't that a gorgeous color? And that's gonna be beautiful over any fish or any meat, really. And you could use that over some seared tempeh or tofu steaks, whatever you might be making. And that gremolata just gives that really beautiful, fresh color and flavor to any dish. So we've got our mustard remoulade for those that like it a little bit spicy. We've got this nice mild lemony, nice olive oil floral flavors with our fresh herbs. And again, any fresh herb will work here. I really love the parsley and basil together, and tons of delicious medicine there. You could spoon this right over the salmon. We'll do that in just a minute. But when we come back, I'm going to show you another way to dress up your salmon fillet that you poached perfectly. I'll see you in just a moment.
Hi, I'm Chef Joe Seminary with Taste This Television. Take a look at this gear right here. Chef Revival knows how to form comfortability for chefs out there. For chefs in the kitchen, heat resistant, the look, the feel. Hey, you're working in the kitchen all day long. You want something that you're going to be comfortable in. Well, Chef Revival has got you covered. Everything from chef hats to chef pants to chef jackets and different kinds of apparel that the chef at home can use. So for more information and to find out some more incredible products on their site, log on to chefrevival.com.
Welcome back to the Ageless Kitchen. We're talking about salmon today, one of my personal favorites. Now, earlier we talked about wild caught or farm raised, and here's what I learned from Dr. Todd Breda over at San Diego State University. One of the things I learned from Dr. Breda and all of his fish wisdom is that it's not just the farm raising of the fish that ruins the fish in the waterways. Remember, wild caught salmon is 27% omega-3 fatty acid, where the farm raised is only 17%. That should tell us something right there. Well, one of the things that I learned from Dr. Breda and all his wisdom is that as they feed the fish, that feed goes to the bottom of the waterway, and it can cause mold and other kinds of plants that are not native to that waterway, and it starts destroying the ecosystem. So it's not just what goes on with the fish, it's what the food in the farm raising of the fish does to the waterway and the environment itself. I thought that was very interesting. All right, so our perfectly poached salmon fillet, and I'm just gonna use half to show you what we're gonna do for our next little dish. fish. All right, boy, is that beautiful. And I'm gonna take the skin off, real super easy to do. Just remove the flesh right from the skin. It comes off perfectly. You can see this little gray layer here, and that's dimethylaminonorthine. Yes, can you say that 5 times fast? Dimethylaminonorthine is where a lot of the magic happens in the omega-3s, and it's one of the things that keeps the wrinkles and lines off of our faces. Take the 30-day Dr. Perricone challenge, eat 8 ounces of wild-caught salmon every day for 30 days, and take a look at the lines and crepiness on your skin. You will see that it has virtually disappeared. This is nature's skincare, and it goes inside and makes us beautiful on the outside. All right, I'm just gonna do a little bit of our remoulade that we made, and this is our duo of mustards, very fancy. And I'm gonna put just a little bit to moisten and make like a salmon salad, just like you would a tuna salad. Just mash that up a little bit with your fork. You could use a potato masher, whatever, and again, I'm just doing a small amount so that we can see how to get another use out of our salmon should we have some left over from dinner. Now, if we're doing a dinner and we're doing our gremolata, some rice, some quinoa, something of that nature would be absolutely delicious. A sauteed vegetable on the side, and you're just adding more and more phytonutrients and delicious medicine. All right, so the remoulade is a great way to bring the salad together, and it's got the cornichons, the baby dill pickles, or you could just use dill relish if you were in a hurry and that's what you had. So why bother chopping everything up again when we already did it for the remoulade? Just use that as your kind of salad dressing, if you will. All right, so that's mixed in. You could season it with a little salt and pepper, but we did already season our remoulade. And again, build each layer as you go, chefs. Now, I've already cleaned a jalapeno. Tons of vitamin C here, bioflavonoids, capsaicin opens up the blood supply, and here again in the chilies is a way to prevent and help heal the effects of arthritis. So we get a lot of good stuff out of our chilies. Now just take your salmon salad and put that right in your chili, and you're done. I mean, there's an appetizer for you right there. I left the stem on as kind of a little handle, and it's just a perfect little appetizer for a party, especially if your guests like spice. Now you could use the sweet mini peppers if you like those, more of a sweet bell pepper flavor if you weren't out for the heat. Me, myself, I stuff habaneros. I love the heat. So this is beautiful on the plate, as you can see. Now I've got more of an Anaheim chili here, or something that's a little more mild, and we could put the rest of our salmon salad. Now this would be great on crackers as well, chefs. So whatever way you want to serve it, but if you're doing a gluten-free program, which a lot of people are doing now, I think the chilies are a perfect little boat, and they make for a gorgeous little presentation. Now, if you wanted to, you could put this in a piping bag and pipe it in really beautiful and fancy as well. So whatever works for you. Okay, let's get this on the end here. I want every bite to have that delicious salmon salad. Wow, my mouth is watering. I don't know about you, but I'm ready to have a cocktail, which is coming up next, and a little bite of my chili and salmon salad. Okay, so we've got that on the plate. We're ready to go to our drink. Now, another thing about the salmon is to keep it nice and moist, you can go ahead and take it out and cover it with your gremolata, and that will help hold the fish and keep the moisture in as well. It's another reason I leave the skin on, chefs. We don't want to eat flabby skin, so I would recommend removing that before service. Always the general rule with fish skin is that it's crispy like the bacon of the sea, and then you're getting all that great dimethylaminonorthine that we talked about before. So what we can do is just remove the rest of the skin, and I'll come back and dress our filet with the gremolata. We've got our stuffed chilies working here, and I'm gonna finish up with a really nice spicy sweet jalapeno margarita, or as we say in the Ageless kitchen with Chef Tina Martini, it's a margatini. And I'll be back to toast to your health in just one moment.
The authentic recipes for all of our products are signature to La Morena. The chilies are literally hand-picked for each can. Everything is manufactured in Mexico and imported into the US. La Morena is best known for its quality and authentic flavor, giving our users a taste of home. Stock up on flavor with La Morena.
Welcome back to the Ageless Kitchen. All right, we're having all kinds of fun with salmon today. And now let's review what we've done. We poached a fillet of salmon and then we removed the skin. We learned all about where the dimethylaminoethene is, that good skincare from the inside out. Get rid of those lines, get rid of that crepey skin by enjoying some wild-caught salmon. We also learned some wisdom from Dr. Todd Bretta over at San Diego State University. So remember, everything has an effect on the environment, not just what we do to the animals, but how the animals are raised, how they're fed. Everything is connected. Remember, chefs, and the same in the kitchen. Everything's connected. Every step leads to the next to get to our final goal of a completed, delicious recipe that everyone will love. So I'm sure that you can see how wonderful these stuffed chilies would be. Now, if you really wanted to kick it up for a party and do kind of a salmon popper, if you will, you could wrap a strip of bacon around the chilies and put it on a rack in the oven and render off all the fat nice and crispy, and you're gonna have a bacon wrapped salmon, jalapeno or Anaheim chili, or if you're gonna go for it like I do it with the habaneros. All right, so that's just another way to kick it up. I think we need to finish off all of this delicious food with a great sweet and spicy margarita. And as we say in the Ageless Kitchen, since I'm Chef Martini, it's a margatini. All right, so I've got my glass and I like to use a chilled glass. So before my guests arrive, I load all the glasses on a tray into the freezer. And that way you're serving really nice, well-chilled stemware. And it's just that next detail that kicks the drinks and the food up. Remember, chefs, fine food is in the details, and that's for sure. I'm gonna load my shaker with some ice here. And just, whatever cubes you have, nothing fancy. We're just gonna use it to shake. We're not crushing today, so we're not worried about the size of the cube or that kind of thing. All right, so I'm just gonna load that in. Now I've got 1.25 ounces of some good quality citrus flavored tequila, but you could use regular and just do a squeeze of lime to get that citrus flavor. And I really like the fresh lime anyway. We've got some limonene and some bioflavonoids, and those are some of the most powerful anti-aging phytonutrients that we know of, and again, that's limonene. It's found in all citrus. All right, so I did just a little squeeze. I've got 3/4 ounce of triple sec or Cointreau, and all that is a really delicious orange flavored liqueur, and that again gives level after level of flavor. Now, I made some jalapeno simple syrup. What is simple syrup? We've done it before in the Ageless Kitchen. Whatever kind of sweetener you like, and it can be honey, it can be regular sugar or the palm sugar that we've used, with equal amounts of water. So I just did maybe 1/2 cup to do a small amount of water and whatever kind of sweetener. Bring that to a boil so it gets kind of a syrupy consistency, and I dropped in some chopped jalapeno. So what I have is a jalapeno infused simple syrup, and I'm gonna put a good 2 ounces in there of that. All right, so I used the simple syrup to flavor the margarita, a little sweet and spicy as I mentioned before. The candied jalapenos helped us do 2 steps in one. So what I did was just cut some jalapeno wheels, and the red jalapenos would be beautiful here as well, especially for the holidays. All right, so I put those jalapeno wheels in the simple syrup, equal amount of sugar and water, and I just candied those and took them out, and you can see they get a nice glossy finish on them, and they look like a little decoration as well as adding flavor. So from that, I strained the simple syrup, or the hummingbird food, off, if you will, and put that in with our ice. All right, so we've got everything that we need. We're just gonna top our shaker and give it a nice firm shake, really getting all that chill through the cocktail and then into our chilled glass. So I'm going to strain that ice out, so we don't want water. Oh, perfection. Oh my gosh, I can taste it now. And then we could garnish with a little bit of lime on the edge if we wanted, or we could give just another little squeeze of the fresh lime juice. Let's put in a couple of our beautiful candied wheels, and that just makes for a great presentation. I also like to put the wheel with the lime, and you could just hang that right on the edge of your glass if you wanted to get really fancy for your next party. All right, let's clean up our mess here. Now these are really great on their own, but remember, they're not just candied, they are spicy as well. So to wrap it all up in the Ageless Kitchen today, we made our herbed gremolata. Let me clean some of this up, Chef, so that you can see what's going on better. Here we go, our candied wheels. So the first thing we did was our duo of mustard remoulade, and this would be great on sandwiches, steaks. I mean, you could use this on any fish. It's really perfect. Then we poached our perfect fillet of salmon, removed the skin, and now we've got our beautiful fresh gremolata. So we can nappe that thinly right over the fish fillet and drape that right out onto the plate for a really gorgeous look. Look at all those colors, chefs. Put some extra remoulade out on the table for people to dress their own meat and vegetables the way they like. And then you've got your stuffed duo of chilies here, some fresh lime juice, and the margatini. Now we've actually got some phytonutrients here as well, but something that is not known about alcohol that we're knowing more about, good news, is that the alcohol actually carries the phytonutrients more efficiently into the bloodstream. Now, I'm not saying go at it and really just have yourself an alcohol fest. None of us benefit from that. But a little drink every now and then, especially with fresh juices, like we used our fresh lime juice, or a Greyhound, let's say, with some fresh pink grapefruit juice, the alcohol actually acts as a carrier and makes the phytonutrients more bioavailable. And that means that the body can uptake them in a more efficient way and get the benefits.
For generations, our family has perfected authentic Mexican dishes, from seasoned chicken and beef to carnitas, arroz, and barbacoa. The Cardenas family has always followed the traditions of their ancestors when it comes to cooking. From the beginning, they've created authentic Mexican dishes from scratch using recipes that have been passed down and perfected over generations. This tradition of gathering around a great meal with family and friends is what Del Rio Foods strives to pass on. From our family to yours.
This is a great party platter. I'm sure you would agree. Anyone would enjoy this. The remoulade on the fish as well, or using it as our kind of condiment for our salmon salad that went in our chilies. Lots of bioflavonoids here, lots of skincare from the inside out. Of course, everybody knows the benefits of omega-3 fatty acids now, hormone balancing. It really looks like they just may be the cure for depression and really upping our mood and balancing our mood swings. We've got all kinds of vitamin C in our chilies. The capsaicin prevents arthritis and heart disease. It acts as a cleanser for our arteries. And then we've got a little bit of a fun cocktail here. Again, using fresh ingredients is really the key to keep it natural, keep it full of phytophyte, and all of the good things that we bring you from the Ageless Kitchen. I hope you've enjoyed your time as much as I've enjoyed my time with you in the Ageless Kitchen. Anytime you have a party, it doesn't mean a lot of work. Have a great time. Up the phytomedicine as much as you can, and I'll see you next time in the Ageless Kitchen. I'm Chef Tina Martini. Here's to your health.